even
Welcome
see.
to the podcast of the Conversions of the Buzzers Gear. We are with Samara, who is still adjusting her mic. Actually,
Yeah.
we're on a time crunch right now because she originally went over just to for us to hang out because for some reason we just keep crossing each other's paths. We don't live close to each other. She lives in Chicago, and I live in Indiana.
It's far.
And when I used to live in New York, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to New York because I'm celebrating my unemployment, so I'm going to New York." And so we met there.
It's falling. Whatever. I'm trying to balance his falling.
I don't even have a mic stand because it didn't fit in my luggage.
You about to? Okay, I was like, I can hold
You
it,
got
but
that.
then I was like, I might keep it.
Maybe you have to tighten it or something. Oh, okay.
I was like, I have to use it because she brought it here, you know? I'm leaning it against the chair. Sorry.
Where was I? Now I'm in California because work brought me to Palm Springs, and then she literally sent me a Snapchat or something. I don't know,
Yeah, I just swiped up on your story.
yeah.
I was like, how long are you in California for?
Yeah, and because you had a plan to go here.
Yeah, I was already planning to go to San Diego, which isn't close by. It's 2 hours away.
Yeah, it is.
And Palm Springs isn't also close by.
it's far.
So both of us we're gonna be around, but we're not close to each other. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm actually gonna be around LA later in the week." And I was like, "That's crazy you say that," because I was thinking about extending my stay to go to LA for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is it's giving meant to be. Meant to be.
It's
That I was
giving meant to be.
I was like, maybe we should hang out because I last saw you was in New York, and now we went from New York, LA, completely different side of the country.
And completely different life. Right
it was
now.
what, 6 months? Wait, how many months? 8 months? I don't know.
That was
Math.
cold
It
season.
was March.
Yeah, I just know it was cold.
Yeah.
And I was in a bad relationship.
Yeah. And I was just starting my layoff journey. I've been having, what's it called? I've been having a couple of months of just traveling, but my first stop was New York, and then we just visited you.
And
Yeah.
I was saying that this is her last stop being unemployed. We're claiming it.
Hopefully, guys.
Period. And see the mic even said.
She said, period. I want to give up on this.
You got this. You got this.
It's okay.
Samara grew up in church, and I met her in church.
Yeah, we were in middle school.
Yeah, no, girl, even younger.
Oh, really?
Even younger.
I mean, that's crazy though, because then we were Facebook friends then, or
Instagram when
friends?
Instagram was
Beginning?
created.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were our first followers.
Dinosaur period. Instagram
I know,
era.
when Instagram was fun.
Yeah. Which was crazy because I was just we're just
Girl, make sure your mic is on.
I'm
on
trying. And when I would go, wow, she's an engineer. wow, she did that. Wow.
Period.
Because
that's why I have a job right now.
Actually, we just never met. Since we were kids, we never met. And then all of a sudden, I was like, Debbie's out in New York right now. Let's see what she's about. Because I was in this period of why are my friends becoming social media friends? These are people I knew
so weird.
growing up, and I knew them, but I was just I have all this free time.
And the thing is, we met when we were church kids.
Yeah,
right?
straight kids.
And life happened to us, and we met just recently. How old are you?
I'm 25.
25, and I'm 25. So we met when we were super innocent, goody two shoes.
What?
How
many years? Do we want to do the math? It's okay.
Yeah, probably, I don't know, more than a decade for sure.
Yeah.
And then it was just a weird.
That's crazy to think because it's we've seen our lives from afar.
So weird.
Growing up.
And it was kind of awkward because it's you don't know me. You know? You don't know me anymore because.
We had similar upbringings, but it's we didn't.
But
we're
you
not
were my first
close.
Instagram. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I was are you
the
Instagram
generation
follower?
now. Yeah, exactly. So we grew up in church, and I met her in church in Michigan because my parents were missionaries, so we went to different churches in different states in America, and that was pretty much it. And she's a deacon's kid.
daughter. Yeah.
Deacon. Explain to the viewers what a deacon is.
Well, there is a proper definition, but my dad was one of those guys who was he was on the board for the church as well, but he was also seen as someone who's well educated on the word, but also doesn't take the position of a pastor or something.
Okay.
But they're very like secondhand. They go to them for advice and stuff too, as well as like, you know, helping with like the offering and things like that. And like,
How is that growing up as a deacon's kid?
I think I think I enjoyed it more because I've seen how some pastor kids, like them, like witnessing them grow up is a lot different than witnessing like how deacon kids. It's not as like high pressured because like I said, a deacon isn't a pastor, but like my dad is, like, you know, he's gone through all the seminar, like all the studying stuff, and he's like really well educated, and I could go to him as a resource, or I go to my uncles as who are also deacons as a resource as well. But like, you know, I was very grateful my parents had a lot of trust in me to like allow me to kind of like live my life growing up in like high school and college. But I've seen some like pastor kids just like fall off. Growing up, like I didn't have a lot of Christian friends. Like all of my Christian friends were people I met through the church, which were family friends. And the churches I grew up in Michigan were all Filipinos. So it's like a very big Filipino church community. But then sometimes Filipino culture can be a little toxic.
Super.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, another topic. But with it being like really kind of like tied to like my culture and stuff, and like being a Filipino Christian, it was hard for me to like want to kind of grow on my own because it was kind of very routine based, you know, like, okay, I'm going to church, I'm going to hang out with all my uncles, my titas, my titos, like all my family friends, like we've been doing this for years. But it wasn't until I actually moved out of the house and I was like seeking out a new church that I was able to grow more organically and like kind of on my own time.
And they didn't know you as a deacon's daughter.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and I was able to like kind of grow at my pace.
Yeah.
As well as like started surrounding myself with a better, more quality friendships like through the church and stuff, that accepted me like regardless, which was like really amazing. But they also like just motivate me to just be a better Christian. And it's just like, it's because I was isolated from my home community, which is still home. I love going back to my family church and stuff. But like when I go back to that church, I know that like I could be more like on fire with like the word and like learning like with my new community that I've found. That also took some time. It's taken me like a few years just for me to feel comfortable in this new church because I grew up in a completely like same church like from since I was a kid. So
yeah, like we were talking about this earlier, because we have been talking all day, but
we were talking all day, and she was like, we need to record this. This is content.
I know.
And I was like, girl, okay.
Because I'm going to the Philippines after this, and then it's just gonna be a whole thing. This is the only time that we are actually for sure together right now.
We were mapping it out. I was like, girl, like I haven't seen you in years, and then this year I saw you twice, which is still,
isn't that?
It was just crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was just crazy.
But we were talking about how important being around Christian friends are. Yeah. And like especially in our generation right now, every time, from my experience, every time I think I told you this, but every time that I'm around my unbeliever friends who don't have a relationship with God, I always feel drained. I always feel drained. And actually that's one of the reasons why I got saved, because I thought to myself, I was like, why do I always feel drained when I hang out with these people? But I love them, but why am I always so drained? And then I found myself at church at Brooklyn Tabernacle. Did you go? You went, right?
Yeah, I went. I've been before. And their church is so cool.
When you visited me in New York, you went to Brooklyn Tabernacle, and I didn't have any interest at all with Brooklyn Tabernacle. That's where I got saved, actually.
Really?
Yes.
It's so powerful. Like, they're so cool.
I know. If you live in New York right now and you just want a taste of what a relationship with God feels like, go to Brooklyn Tabernacle. Or if you see yourself in New York, go to Brooklyn Tabernacle. I'm telling you, it's so worth it. Where was I, girl?
You went to church.
Oh yeah, when I found myself at church there, because my mom really wanted me to go to Brooklyn Tabernacle when they visited me in New York, and I didn't want to go, but I was like, okay, fine, they're buying my groceries, they're driving me everywhere, I might as well go. So I went, and then just being in that space around Christians and just people who love the Lord, you just feel so nourished, and you just feel so energized and really good. And yeah, this is when I, that was the seed again. So I'm so blessed that I have friends like you. And actually, when I met Cheska, right? Yeah. Shout out to Cheska if you're watching
Cheska
this.
Cruz plug.
I went to Windsor, right? And then I met up with her.
Yeah.
And then we had a really good time together. Like, this was actually the first time we met ever since that whole Instagram, like, that's first people saying. On Instagram.
Like, we grew up together, but we just didn't really know each other. Yeah.
So, and it's still like, you're kind of like a stranger, right?
Yeah.
But when you meet someone who is a Christian and you both love Jesus, it's like you've known each other forever because we're brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah.
So I'm really blessed to have friendships like this, and I'm so happy to have you on this podcast.
Yeah, that was crazy. This is crazy, guys. I didn't think I'm going on a podcast today.
I know.
She was like, "Come over, we're eating Korean barbecue." I was like, "Okay."
Korean barbecue. Good. We were supposed to get milk tea too.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, the Lord always provides. And tell them about your unemployed journey too.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. Okay, well, I think this year definitely, like, I've learned to, like, God will provide.
Yeah.
And, like, he has, like, this whole year. And
this whole year you haven't been employed, right?
It's been since March. And it's December, so.
And you own a house.
I do own a house. And so this has been stressful. It's like, how am I going to pay for my mortgage?
You've been going on trips, babe.
We'll get there. We're seeing what I mean.
Sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited.
God will provide, okay? Like, he really will.
I'm putting you on blast.
I know. No, but, like, so, basically for my last job, I was working kind of, it's like a tech startup, and I would work closer to like 55 or 60 hours a week. I was drained, not prioritizing my health. I was literally sick for so long. My family was like, Samara, you need to go to the doctors. But then, like, the way the tech company works is, like, they kind of guilt trip you, like, you need to go to the doctors, but, like, we kind of need help. Like, if you're not there, like, someone else, has to fill in for your role. And it's like, I'm sorry that, like, I'm not getting enough sleep because every day I only have like 3 or 4 hours to myself. 3-4 hours a day. You have to, like, cook dinner. You need to go grocery shopping. You can't take a nap. Like, if you want to go to the gym, like, that's not enough time, not enough balance.
And that wasn't work from home, right? You
had
to go to
in
the
person.
Office.
And it was, like, very laborious because I would, like, either be sitting at my desk or, like, working on the assembly line. And it was just like.
Were you getting paid a lot?
Yeah, but it's like, it's not worth it. Like, I'm getting paid salary. I was getting paid stocks. I was getting paid overtime on top of my salary. But I was like, I just want some free time.
Was it because you guys were unemployed or low in employment?
Yeah,
or?
It's like startup vibe. So it's like with startups is like they kind of work you very thin. So it's like you do a lot of different jobs because they don't have enough headcount.
I see.
And then, like, they lay people off. So they have less headcount. I don't know how they've been doing, but things like that.
Yeah.
So crazy that, like, there were rumors that there was gonna layoff that was gonna happen, and I had a routine every I think it was like a Tuesday or Thursday. My friends and I from church, we actually would meet for dinner, but, like, during the day I'd fast. So then for my, like, lunch break, I'd probably take a nap, but then I'd also, like, I would do prayer journaling because it's like, I think it's kind of like a great way to document your prayers, but then it's also like I can look back on previous prayers, and it's also become like a little diary too. So the day that the layoffs were rumored to happen, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take my, like, breakfast because I'm there breakfast, like, lunch, dinner sometimes. So I'm gonna go take my breakfast because I'm not eating. I might eat. No, I'm kidding. But I went to my car, and then I just, like, prayed. I was like, oh yeah, no, like, I trust that whatever is about to happen is, like, your plan for me, and I just trust that. And then, like, talked about, like, things about my life. Like, okay, maybe I see myself, like, doing this and that. Like, it was kind of just, like, a very, like, well, if it happens, it happens. Because I didn't love my job in the sense of, like, how much it was strenuous. But it was paying the bills.
And God saw that.
And God saw it for sure. Because I was, like, probably, and then again, it's like, well, long story short, I got laid off.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, a blessing in disguise. Because, like, for one, I was like, okay, this was meant to be. Like, we were literally just praying about it. And then turns out my family has been praying for me, like, praying that she gets more rest, praying that, I prioritize my health.
Right.
And these are things that I wasn't necessarily praying for myself, but was needed.
Yeah.
So then I haven't been working since March, but what's crazy, when you get laid off, you actually get severance. So I got severance pay for a few months. And then I applied for unemployment, like, right when my severance ended. So then I was on unemployment for a few months. And then I saved up a lot of money because I was working a lot. So now I'm
Right.
just like living off my savings for a little
Yeah.
bit and just praying that I get a job next year. But because like God's been providing, like I've had such a steady income. Even it's like, you know, unemployment's not amazing, but it's something better
Yeah.
than literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I've been able to like just travel.
Yeah.
So like I've
Yeah.
been to a lot of new countries this year. I went to
Wow.
Greece, I went to Turkey, I went to the Philippines, I went to Japan.
Yeah.
And then I was saying like I wanted to like visit some friends that I normally wouldn't because of how much I've been working. So I went to New York.
Yeah.
I went to Seattle.
Japan. Gentle monster.
Gentle monster. And these are things that I like never thought I'd be able to do within a span of like
Right.
what 10 months, which is
Wow.
crazy.
That's what
But
happened
then the
to me
whole
too.
time I'm just like, God's providing me. Like I'm not broke.
I know.
I'm here right
because
now.
you're the daughter of God. God
Mhm.
is so rich and
it's
abundant.
amazing. And it's just like time and time, like yes, I get stressed. I'm like, man, why does no one want to hire me? I've applied to like 150 jobs at least.
Wow.
I have a whole Excel sheet. I was like, okay, I got rejected. I'm still waiting back. I've had interviews, but then nothing back. So it's just like, it was very, I don't know if like hurting my ego, but it did because I was like,
Yeah.
I worked so hard for this
Yeah.
company. And then they were like, bye,
Right.
you know? And I have like closer to like, I interned for 4 years, and then I worked at a like OEM, which is kind of like the main company, for 2 years at the assembly plant. So I have so much experience doing so many things
Yeah.
because I was worked so thinly. And then I'm just like, no one wants to hire
Yeah.
me. So I'm like, it's not. And I was like, I don't really think it's me. Like,
yeah,
and it's,
girl.
you know.
That means that just something bigger and better is coming for you.
I know, which is exciting because like, okay,
I
God's
know,
cooking up something for me.
right,
Like, We're
exactly.
gonna do something
'Cause
that's
that's
like how much
literally-
my year's been, and I was like, bro, like
Yeah.
if this is how my time away from work has been, and He's been providing for me, like I'm just
I
so excited
know,
for what
right?
He has in store for me when
Exactly.
I do get employed finally.
Yeah, and during this season,
Yeah.
you're probably like learning a lot more about yourself.
Definitely, I'm learning so much about myself. Like it's like I've never had so much time to myself.
Yeah.
Like in years, like I've never had like a gap year.
Yeah.
Like some people take gap years after school. Like I went straight into work. Like and then during college, like I would be a full-time student and then be a full-time like intern during the summer. So I never even had a summer. Yeah,
I was like that too. Remember, like in New York, I was telling you this earlier.
grinding.
I was unemployed in New York, girl.
That's not easy.
I was unemployed in New York because I was going to music production school, and after that, I moved out of New York because I couldn't afford it anymore, obviously. But also, it was chaotic. Like,
There's a
I
lot.
could have tried harder if I really wanted to live there, but I was like, okay, this isn't worth it. I don't like it here.
I remember when we spoke, you were like, "I'm trying to move," and I was
Right.
like, "Damn, that's cool."
I was
At
like,
least
I told you,
here.
I was like, I'm trying to move, but you should move here.
You literally were like, "You would love it here, but I'm trying to go." I was like, "Girl," I was like, "What are we talking about right now?" Yeah,
What's it called? Yeah, and I was unemployed for a long time.
yeah.
And then this is the brokest I've ever been, and I don't know why and how, but I've been to Canada this year, Florida. I'm going to the
We're in
Philippines. I'm in Palm
California.
Springs.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen, right? And then I told you my testimony earlier about this job that God gave me because I prayed about it because I got into debt for my music production school, and I was like, Lord, how am I going to pay this off? I don't want to go back to being a barista. I also don't want to be a waitress. My degree, nobody's hiring me for my degree because the
Period.
market is so competitive.
Babe, like computer science, like that's a bachelor's, like so much work, and then it's like, yeah, sorry, there's just no jobs for you right now.
Right.
And it's not just me, like so many people in this sector of tech is like struggling. Like we don't even recommend people to get that degree, and it's such a good degree.
Yeah, and there's times where it really seems impossible,
Yeah.
right? But and I have bills that I pay too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have bills, even if like I have bills and like I have to pay off some things when I was unemployed. But for some reason, money was coming in.
Right.
Not from my parents. Okay,
Right.
it was coming in like
And
either
that's-
like an unexpected check
I
from
wonder
my
what
music.
happened. I wonder how that happened. It's crazy.
Right?
Amazing. It's just like
Yeah.
so reassuring, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
like, I don't have to really stress and worry, and it's like I can actually just like look at the positives in life because it's like why look at places that I am struggling where it's like God's gonna provide for me.
Exactly.
It's like it's such a nice outlook, a different outlook.
Yeah. And then finally, when I prayed about that thing where I was like, God, how am I gonna pay for this? It's
Yeah,
so
right.
much money. I went to a church in Florida, and then when we were on vacation, and then someone walked up to me, and she was like, do you want a job? And then I became her assistant, and now she's mentoring me for the financial education side, and we're helping so many people, and I'm finding so much passion for this career, and I'm loving it. Like this whole time, like Korean barbecuing, like I've just been on meetings with Samara.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, Samara, can you come over? We're gonna cook Korean barbecue. She's like, I'm actually in a meeting. Could you actually just handle it? I'm like, yeah, put me to work.
God always provides, and
really
we're so
does.
happy, and so
In like ways that you wouldn't expect.
I know,
Like even
right?
us hanging out in this conversation,
doing this podcast.
Is this
even real? Like,
in
is this real life?
California?
I know. In LA.
Why are we here right now?
I know.
Because of God.
Like this morning, you were just watching your friends surf.
Yeah, that was crazy. I like met some friends, and then I was like, hey, I've always thought like surfing is cool. She's like, oh, I got 6 in the morning. I was like, you guys are crazy. But I was like, I'll be there. I don't have anything doing at 6 in the morning. I like set up a towel and I just watch them surf.
You know what's so weird or interesting?
Yeah.
People assume that I'm rich, but I'm like, I'm not.
Like,
I'm just God's daughter.
Yeah, period.
I'm rich because God got me. But in reality, like I may look rich, but I'm really not.
Like literally, people are like, how do you travel so much? I was like, y'all have a travel credit card and your credit card points. Like you gotta utilize those. Like you gotta be smart with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, my friend, oh my goodness, she reached out to me and she was like, can you help me plan a trip? I was like, heck yeah. She's like, I'll give you $50 and a cup of coffee. And I was like, $50? I was like, girl, you're my friend. You don't have to pay me. She's like, no, like, please. I was like, okay, sure.
How do you plan a trip for someone? Like a travel agent?
Yeah,
vibe?
I'm like, okay, cool, travel agent on the side. Just because I've been traveling so much this year, my friend's like, dude, you do this.
That's so
like,
funny.
She's like, I've always wanted to do this, but I didn't know how to. So
wait, what the heck?
Are we not recording?
Hello. No,
Hello?
we're recording. I'm just tripping because we don't have a cameraman.
Low on budget, low on head count. Crazy though. Continue. I'm just gonna.
Guys, she has to return a rental
I have to leave in
10 minutes. So we're gonna say goodbye to Samara, and hopefully we have her again.
Dude, this will be crazy because we talked about the last time we saw each other, and the beginning of my layoff, I was definitely a little bit more lost.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I was depressed.
Right. Yeah, I was actually so depressed.
And now here we both are just like, oh, we're just so happy with life right now.
Yeah, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. That's how depressed and anxious I was.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize myself, you know. And my hair, every time I would shower, I would just see hair on the drain without even doing anything to my hair. And I just had a lot of hair fall, and my hair was never growing. But ever since I recommitted my life to the Lord, I don't know how my hair grew so fast.
You hear that, guys? You're balding. Just start believing in God, and he'll just
and maybe break up with that man.
Yeah.
Or girl. Or woman.
Period.
Or girl or woman.
Cut out toxic people. Your hair grows back.
Exactly.
It's true. That's a fact.
Yeah, and you are glowing too, right?
Maybe because
I've
I've just been in California for a few days now. It's nice here. It's weird though because it's I go on a trip and I come back home and then the reality of man, I don't have a job. But it's but I'm okay. It's always like this.
I feel that too. That's kind of
this.
what I'm kind of nervous about, going back to Indiana.
Yeah.
But
Midwest.
thankfully
We're going to the Philippines in a few weeks, so
Midwest.
it's different.
I know. Thankfully I'm going to the Philippines after that, but I'm going back to Indiana after the Philippines, and that's what I'm preparing for.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm grateful though. It's all of my family's in the Midwest, and I have some really great friends too. So it's never a dull moment. But it's just you go from having beautiful scenery,
right,
and then the Midwest, it's gloomy. It's plain cornfields, empty, and you're just home.
Yeah,
you know. But then it's home.
Yeah, because for me, I like it in Indiana because it's quiet.
Yeah,
there's a lot of space. I have a house there that I don't have to pay for because my parents own the house.
Can't say the same, but
yeah,
but it's nice. Having family close by as a support system.
I don't have that. But the ikaw you have.
Oh yeah. Wait, you live alone in Indy?
Yeah, Indiana, in Richmond, Indiana, and then
Why did you choose Richmond?
They chose Richmond, Indiana. I chose it for the house and the free house.
Okay.
Girl, you're purple right now. It's so aesthetic. Let me take a picture of you. Let me take a picture.
It's golden hour. Dude, turn around. The sunset's insane. I was like, the camera's pointing the wrong
take a
way.
picture of me.
Okay. No, it looks good actually. Cheese. with the shed in the back. Ooh. Wow.
Commercial break.
Look, it's good. Looks good.
Wow, photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, I'm surrounded with a bunch of, rednecks, white people,
Yeah.
people that I'm not familiar with. But I am getting to know them.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice, but we just have different culture.
Completely different cultures.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun because then you're just like kind of witnessing their culture, and it's you don't have to claim it, but it's like you just accept it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm really proud to be Filipino. I think we have
Me too, man.
such a rich culture.
We are so cool.
We're so cool.
We're so cool. And like Filipinos, no, sorry guys, but like Filipinos, like we're all musically talented.
I know.
And then like a lot
We're
of
nice,
we're nice,
hospitable.
We're great hard workers,
Great cooks. Respectful.
Someone wife us up.
Period.
Oh my gosh, that's stupid. That was so stupid.
But yeah, and we're smart.
Yeah, we're smart and we're funny.
Period. We're talented.
We're
we
the
come
full
from good family.
package, bro.
I
We come from a
know.
great family background.
Yeah. So why do we let these men play
That's what I'm
us?
saying. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what you're saying.
That's what we're saying. You know.
Anyways, with that being said, she has to go bring her
Gotta go
rental
soon.
back.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, I'm sad. We should have podcast way earlier.
it's okay, girl.
Next time.
It's okay. I had some calls too, so I couldn't do this whole thing.
Miss Girl was working, and I was
I
like, "You're working,"
know.
and I was just hanging out.
It's okay. It's a vibe.
It
and
is a vibe.
there's a pool behind us if you don't see.
Man,
Very
you should show
vibe.
the view.
Okay.
You should show the view. Man, this is kind of amazing that we've just been able to link up in 2 different cities, though. Period. Oh, the shakes.
Thank you for watching Confessions of a
I forgot what it's called.
Pastor's Kid. Have a great night, guys, or great day. Mwah.